Every single time you eat, you kick off this absolutely incredible, complex journey, and it's all happening right inside of you. So we're going to follow a single bite of food on its wild ride through your body. And trust me, it is quite an adventure.
Seriously, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You swallow your food and then what? It doesn't just disappear. The second it's out of sight, that food starts this amazing transformation, turning from, something on your plate into the literal fuel that powers your entire life.
And here it is. This is basically our map for the whole adventure. Your gastrointestinal tract. It's this long, muscular tube, but it's way more than that. It's like a super sophisticated processing plant. We're going to follow the path right from the entrance all the way to the exit, checking out every major stop along the way.
Okay, first stop, the initial takedown. See, before your body can even think about using any of that food, it's got to be dismantled. And that's the job of the breakdown crew. Their work starts the absolute second that food enters your mouth.
So this whole operation, it follows a pretty clear 6-step plan. First, you take the food in, that's ingestion. Then you push it through the system, propulsion. You break it down, both mechanically and chemically. Then, the really important part, you absorb all the good stuff. And finally, of course, you get rid of the waste. We are about to see every single one of these steps in action.
So how does this breakdown actually happen? Well, it's a two-pronged attack. You've got mechanical digestion, that's the obvious stuff, right? Chewing, crushing, grinding with your teeth. But what's so cool is that at the exact same time, chemical digestion is already kicking off. Your own saliva has these tiny molecular workers that start taking the food apart right away. And these tiny workers, they have a name: enzymes. They are basically these hyper-specialized proteins. Think of them like a pit crew, where each member has only one tool for one very specific job. You've got enzymes just for carbs, totally different ones for fats, and another set just for proteins. Their one and only mission is to break those nutrients down into pieces your body can actually absorb and use. Without them, the whole system just grinds to a halt.
Okay, after a quick trip down the esophagus, the food lands in the stomach. And this is not just some passive bag, it's an absolute powerhouse. It's the only part of your entire digestive tract that has 3 distinct layers of muscle, and that lets it churn and mix everything with incredible force. While it's doing that, it's flooding the food with acid and protein-digesting enzymes, literally transforming it all into this paste called chyme.
All right, from the stomach, that chyme moves into the most critical part of the entire journey, the small intestine. All that breakdown work we just saw? That was just the prep. This is where the real prize is collected. So, welcome to the absorption zone. So what makes the small intestine so good at its job? Just look at this. The inner wall, it isn't smooth at all. It is covered in millions, literally millions, of these tiny finger-like folds called villi. And get this, they're covered in even smaller folds. All of this creates a ridiculously massive surface area, making it incredibly efficient at just grabbing every last bit of nutrition as it passes by. And most of this absorption happens right in the middle section. And this, right here, is the entire point of eating. This is where the fundamental building blocks of you get absorbed into your bloodstream. We're talking sugars for immediate energy, amino acids to repair your muscles and build new cells, fatty acids for your brain, plus all the vitamins and minerals. Literally everything your body needs to not just survive, but thrive is captured right here. But the small intestine doesn't go it alone. Nope, it gets help from an essential support crew. The pancreas sends in this powerful cocktail of enzymes to finish breaking down all the food groups. And meanwhile, the liver produces something called bile, which gets stored in the gallbladder. It's then released to emulsify fats, which is basically a fancy way of saying it breaks big blobs of fat into tiny little droplets so the enzymes can actually get to work on them. Now you might be thinking, who is in charge of all this? This perfectly timed, incredibly complex sequence of churning and secreting and absorbing. Well, the answer is one of the most fascinating and frankly weird parts of your entire body. Okay, just look at this number for a second. 200 to 600 million. What on earth could that be? Take a guess. That's the number of neurons in a huge neural network hidden somewhere in your body. We're talking a network with more neurons than your entire spinal cord. So where is it? Where would you find something like that? It's lining your gut. It's called the enteric nervous system, or ENS for short. And because of its incredible complexity and its ability to act on its own, scientists have nicknamed it our second brain.
This amazing network is basically mission control for your entire digestive system. It's what manages the constant, rhythmic muscle contractions, that's called peristalsis, that push food along, and it signals organs like the pancreas to release their juices at exactly the right moment. It pretty much runs the whole show, often without needing a single command from the brain up in your head. It's incredible.
So, we've got this ancient, incredibly intelligent system running inside of us 24/7. But how does it cope with the challenges of our modern world? Let's talk about the actual fuel we're choosing to put into it.
A really useful way to think about food is this NOVA classification system. It basically categorizes food by how much it's been processed. So groups 1, 2, and 3 are pretty straightforward. Whole foods, cooking ingredients, and simple processed things like bread. But group 4, ultra-processed foods, or UPFs, these are different. These aren't just modified foods. They're industrial formulations made with very few, if any, whole food ingredients.
So what's the issue with these foods? Well, it's kind of multi-layered. For one, they disrupt the food's natural structure, which can actually trick your body into feeling less full, making you eat more. But the bigger concern might be all the industrial additives. We're talking things like emulsifiers and artificial sweeteners, which some studies suggest can really mess with the delicate ecosystem of our gut bacteria, and may even lead to things like inflammation.
All right, we are on the final leg of the journey now. After the small intestine has meticulously sucked up all the useful nutrients, whatever's left over moves into the last major station.
Welcome to the large intestine. Its main jobs are basically cleanup and conservation. It reabsorbs most of the water and electrolytes from what's left of the food matter, and it compacts all that indigestible stuff into what will eventually be, well, eliminated from the body.
But hey, this place isn't just a waste chute. Not at all. It is a thriving metropolis, home to trillions of gut bacteria. And this massive community isn't just hanging out for a free ride. They're actively working with us, even producing essential nutrients like vitamin K that our body then absorbs. It's a true partnership.
And that brings our tour to a close. We've seen that digestion isn't just some simple automatic process. It's an intelligent, coordinated dance of muscles, chemicals, and microbes. This incredible system works tirelessly, 24/7, to build and fuel your life from the inside out. So it really leaves you with one big question, doesn't it? What kind of fuel are you choosing for the journey?